What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining in. Today is July 1st, and this is the third episode of the Young Buck and Old School podcast. Before I get started, let me go ahead and get the old man on. Old School, what's
What's up,
going on?
everybody? Oh man, I here making that woman you love a check, man. You know what I'm
Ah.
doing. I work so she can get paid, baby. You know how that go. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Still high off this
That's good.
weekend, man.
Boy, what you say, man? Man, our apostle been calling, man. He been calling ever since yesterday.
Yeah.
Calling, talking about he still get phone calls about that service, man. The spirit of God was so high up in that place, man. We went to Tennessee and we just had ourselves a good time.
Man,
Yes, we
yes, we
did. We had a
did.
good time.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. Just for everybody that don't know, we went little part of the Love for Life family. We couldn't take everybody this time, but we the Harris and the Hills, we went out to Nashville, Tennessee, the secret place. And man, the
Yeah,
spirit was
yeah.
high up in there for that men's program. And
Ah,
I'm talking about old school preached up something, boy. I'm telling you, he
ah.
had it was a men's program and he was preaching to the men, but all the women was hollering. I ain't know what was going on there. I, I ain't know what was
Hey
going on, man.
man, hey, to God be the glory, man.
Man, the spirit was high in there, and it was crazy how everyone said, like, especially all the ladies, because they had a woman's day or something dealing with the women the day before at the church, and
Right,
they
right.
said everything that he was preaching about, they was talking about the day before at the event. So, man,
Yeah.
great. I mean, you did I'm talking about, man, you showed out. You and God got up there and showed out. I think somewhere along the line, I threw my towel at you as well as I was ready to throw a chair. I, I had my hard bottoms on because I know I was like, if I take these off, I ain't gonna be able to put them back on there, man. But man, I was ready to throw a chair. You hear me? Ah,
Man,
you was
hey,
preaching
when
that,
I tell
man.
you, man, God just did what He do, man. I mean, we had an awesome time, but you know the
Yeah,
atmosphere up at Secret Place, man, it's always good, man. Like you said before we left, it's just something about, man, when Love for Life and Secret Place, man, when we get together, man, we just have ourselves a hallelujah good time. You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yes, we
Can't they?
do.
Hey, you can't skip past yesterday and not talk about how you and God had a time up there. I'm
Oh
just saying,
man,
boy,
yeah.
y'all just did that thing. I told Apostle, I said, let him flow. I'll go home. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I said, let him flow. Let him play. Don't
I go
stop him.
home.
Let him flow. I go home. I'm good. I'm good.
He, he said,
Yes,
I go
sir.
home. I go home.
I'll go home, man. I will go
Man, it was
home, man. I will go.
man, I'm talking about, man, the spirit was so high, man. I'm gonna tell you the crazy part is glad to see that she's on here. Hey, shout out to Lady Wheat, shout out to Carter, shout out to Clarence. But late we had bumped into Lady Wheat, right? And I told, and we bumped
Uh-huh.
into her at we bumped into her at D&K. And she said,
Right, right, right.
he said, I think that's T&D right there. She came up, she said, what my family doing in here? And
Ah.
what's going on, Bishop Week? And she said, what my family doing in here? And I told her, I said, look, I said, we on our way out there, and we trying to dress like a unit this time. And she looked at she looked at me, and she
Like
was
a unit. That what it
yeah,
was.
we trying to dress like a unit this time. And she was asking T, she say, well, you know about a boutique? I said, Lady Week, I said, let me tell you. I said, we wear t-shirt and jogging pants. She said, come on now, Pastor. She s- she
Ah.
said, come on now, Pastor. You gotta do better than this. She made me feel so bad in D&K. She made me feel so bad. She made me feel so bad.
Ah. Hey
But man,
man,
we were looking good in
listen.
that blue on Sunday.
man, hey, everybody was talking about it, man. I mean, we came up in that thing uniform, just ready to do God's work. Listen, everybody know that Young Buck and Old School is unscripted, so I ain't ate all day. So yes, I'm finna get my eat on. I'm finna do it. I'm telling you right here on. Talk about me if you want to. You know what I'm saying? That's that good wife I got. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna wait a whole hour and let my food get ice cold. No, I'm
I
gonna
got
sit right
I
here.
got
I'm gonna sit right here and eat my food. I'm just saying, and we're gonna do
Oh
what
man.
we do. We're gonna have a
So
good
what you
time.
got? Tell everybody
Yeah,
what you got, man, before we really
bruh,
get going.
shoot. I'm about to find out. Look like I got some.
Oh,
Look
that's
like
a
some
true
sort of
wife right there, boy.
that's
He
a
got a lunch
boy.
and he don't even know what is in it.
Boy,
We
that's a
can't see that. You gotta lift it
that
up a
look
little
like
bit.
a
Lift it up a little bit. We can't see it.
that look like a like a rice casserole or something with some
Okay,
stew meat in it.
okay.
Uh-huh.
With some
You
stew
know?
meat. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, before you look, Bernard say, now I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Look, I
go.
mean, so normally we spend
Uh,
some time and we
Chicken and
talk
beans,
about the
baby. Chicken and
weekend
beans.
and
Chicken and beans.
chicken and beans, and
Chicken,
we
chicken
talk
and beans,
about the
baby. Chicken
weekend
and
and
beans.
everything. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say, man, the spirit was so high in that service, man. We was just talking earlier, man. It was just something you had to experience for yourself. It
Yeah.
wasn't much.
Yeah.
It wasn't really much we can say, man. But that the spirit was high. It was just something
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
really had to experience. But we got some special guests, man. We last week Bernard told us, she wanted us to talk about marriage. So it was no other than
Ah.
for us to talk about marriage, and we can't talk about marriage without bringing our love, without bringing the ones we truly love. Real quick, she say he eating on baked beans, broccoli cheese, rice casserole, roast, and baked chicken. He got roast and baked chicken.
that,
He
that,
got
that, 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 that's that. That's that wife. That's that wife. That's that wife.
he, he got roast and
Hey,
baked
boy,
chicken.
you
You
know
know what I'm saying?
what
Speaking of that wife, man, we got some special guests in the building. We got our wives. We got Tanisha Harris and Sharonica here. Let me bring them on. What's going on, ladies?
Hi.
I'm saying? Hey, ladies. Mm.
Hey.
Hey y'all. Look at him. He's smacking too now. That's
Hey,
what you call good cooking, good looking.
girl, girl, girl.
Good
Listen,
cooking, good looking.
listen.
Come on.
Hey, now listen. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Listen, my wife went to work this morning, right? And she knew her husband had to go to work. So
Uh-huh.
I went to the laundromat. Our air conditioner was out, right? So not only did she make sure I had food, she cooked in a hot house. I'm saying when
Mm,
I stepped up in that house, it was like a sauna. I mean, it was so hot up in there. You know what I'm saying? I just had to start opening up doors. It was just that hot. But she still made sure her family had something to eat through all of that heat, through all of that going to work and all of this type of stuff, through the long weekend that we had, man. That's what I'm saying. See, that's a
mm.
good wife right there, man. I tell you. That's why I proudly say I go to work so she can get a check.
So she can get a
Not
check.
not to mention he came in the kitchen and seen all this sweat popping off my face. He went to go
Uh-oh.
get the fan that held the right. He was holding the
There
fan
we
right
go.
there to my face.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Look. I told him he never let me down. He never let me down. I told him all the time. I said that's what I'm talking about. It make me proud. It make me proud every time. It make me proud every time. But look, man. So we got the task today to talk about marriage, and
Ah.
we said together. We said we ain't gonna talk about this without bringing our wives, man. And let me tell you, our wives do not like being in camera. And I don't know why. I, I don't get. I mean, I know I'm the sexiest man alive, but I know my wife is just so beautiful. I don't know why she just don't want to show her face. But we'll let that
Hmm.
go.
Eh,
You
it's
know,
okay. It's okay. It's
we'll,
okay.
we'll let that go, right? But anywho, man.
Hmm.
So old school. I'm gonna start with you, man. We're gonna crank it up with you because you more experienced than anyone on here in terms of marriages, right?
Yeah.
Why you chew on that bite, man. So like let's start off with first of all, in your own words, what is marriage?
Oh, Well, to me, it's
Mm-hmm.
the it's the joining, it's the coming together with someone to actually build a life together.
Mm-hmm.
Not just existing. You know what I'm saying? Because you could just exist by yourself,
Right.
but it's good to be with someone that you can share your life with, that you can build something with.
Mm-hmm.
It's about coming together and actually having a life partner,
Mm-hmm.
not somebody who just really to not somebody who just come by night, but just having a real life partner, somebody having that person in your life to where when you come home, like they make all the troubles in the world that you don't been through just disappear.
Mm.
That's what marriage is to me.
Okay, and before I go to the next person, man, let me take everybody through like what told you what told you at that time is like I'm gonna marry Sharonica or Sharonica George or as people call her at that time before she became lead lady. I'm gonna marry Rhonda.
Because we was best friends for years.
Mm-hmm.
And after my last divorce, I don't hide it. You know, this is my fourth marriage. So I don't hide it. I keep it a million. Um, but we have been friends for years,
Mm-hmm.
and she have always been she have everything that I was looking for in a
Mm-hmm.
woman. She was,
Okay.
but we was just so but we was just friends. So so after my last divorce, and I found out that she was divorced, I said, well, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot because once I sat back and realized what Laura really wanted and what Laura really needed, she was all that and then some.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not wanting to jump too far off a subject, but you know, a lot of times, man, we getting hooked up with folks and we really don't know what we want to need. But
Right.
everything that I was looking for in a mate, in a woman, in a wife, she was that and then some. So
Mm.
like I say, when I became available and she became available, I say, you know what, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
You start knocking at that door, huh? You start creeping up that street. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, I mean, I heard old boy go. You know, I heard old boy go. All right, well, let me pass it on to your better half here. Angel, what about you? What so first of all, what is marriage to you? And then the second question is, how did you know that old school gonna be your big daddy, as you call
Mm-mm-mm. Well, um, I agree with old school. With his marriage, marriage two people that's come together. Not only just like he said, not only just come together, but build a
them?
life together. And and yeah, yeah. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know why I'm on here, but but yeah, that everything he said marriage is. That's what it is. That. And you say
What
why?
made you
What's your
what
next
made you
question
say
was?
like, okay, he gonna be big daddy?
I wouldn't leave. That's what it was. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't.
Honest God, true. That's it.
Oh,
That's
oh,
it right there.
blink,
That's it.
blink twice for
Because
the big
No.
daddy.
I mean, we on here and we on here and we being real and we
Uh-huh.
being a million or whatever. So I didn't see him as my
Mm-hmm.
husband. I didn't at all. It took me, I would say, probably like 3 years into our marriage to actually just see him as my
Mm-hmm.
husband because we was best friends for so long to the point where, what I'm saying, like that's
Mm-hmm.
all I thought. They're my best friend. I ain't trying to mess up, what I'm saying, our best friendship or whatever, what I'm saying, because no relationship type stuff or whatever like that. And not only that, You know what I'm saying? Like I always saw him as minister here. I always felt like God would get me if I sit up here and continue to I'm dating minister here. Like, and even if like it be time like we be in the house, I'd be like, oh my God, Minister Hill is in my house. I'm like,
Oh my
like
God,
he's in
miss
my bed.
in my house.
You know, and stuff like that. But it took me a long time to actually like just be like, okay, this my husband, this my husband, whatever. Not saying that he's a bad person, anything like that. I just didn't see him as
Mm-hmm.
such. I didn't. Just getting out of a relationship and all that. I was trying to get tied down to nobody. I was trying to, go have a little good
We
time.
know what that
But
means.
God
We
said,
know what that means. We got
I was trying to go have a little good time. But God was like, no,
you.
wheel it back on in. You know, whatever. So even when he proposed, oh my God. When he proposed, he had everybody there. And it was December the 31st, 2015, watch
Mm.
night service.
At the
Everybody,
church. At the
everybody was
church.
there at the church. Everybody was there. You know what I'm saying? And it happened so fast and stuff. Like I was like, I don't even remember. I don't even remember saying yes. He said you did say yes. I said, oh, okay.
Okay.
Our relationship actually went from being
Mm-hmm.
best friends to now this my husband. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Like I literally had a hard time, but he
Mm-hmm.
grew on me as a husband. he was he was my best friend. And look, call and say she's a witness. Listen, he was my best friend, sure enough, and I loved him dearly. Every time he came and he left with somebody else, it broke my heart. I never knew how much I
Mm-hmm.
loved the man until he actually left with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I never knew how much I loved him to then. But he grew on. He actually grew on me. Like he was a good man. He was good. Like it wasn't no. He wasn't bad, and then he was good. Like he did everything and
Right.
beyond what a husband's supposed to do, and you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like he was. So then I started calling him my big daddy. He used to be my sugar bear, but then he graduated to my
Yeah,
big daddy.
he before we move on, man. I mean that he I don't know what he got going on over there, boy, but I'm talking about eyes are closed and
you may you may want to take me off camera for a few minutes because this about to get ugly. I'm just I'm just
I,
I'm just
I
saying.
mean, he got eyes closed and everything. I'm talking.
Man, I'm
Wow.
telling you, boy.
Enjoy that food. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Let me go over. Bernard said not graduated. Not graduated. So tell everybody how long have y'all been together versus how long have y'all been married?
Oh God, about this.
You want the real? You want the real number
Whatever
or
whatever
the
number
number
y'all
that
whatever number
everybody know?
y'all go by.
Bishop, he want the real number or the
Whatever
number
number y'all
everybody know?
go
I'm
by.
just playing. We've been away probably about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 15 years. But next year, May the 7th, 2026, we'll be married.
Okay.
10 years.
Mm-hmm.
10 years.
10
10
years.
years. 10 years. But to really answer your question about why he became my big daddy, because he chose
Mm-hmm.
me every day.
He
That's my
chose
big
you
daddy.
every day. We're gonna get a little bit deeper into that. But let me go over here to T. Let me go here to my peach. Bae, same question to you. What is marriage to you? And you know that if anybody watched Jenny in Georgia, you know that right there. Yeah,
Not Pete.
that stuck to me. Shout out to Jenny in Georgia. But he is definitely my peach. But
Oh Lord.
for you too, same question to you is what is marriage to you? And then what made you say that you wanted to deal with all I had to give you uh on a long term lifetime sentence basis?
Okay.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a
Right, right.
Um,
Lifetime sentence, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
so I'm gonna agree. to what they both said about what marriage is. It's about
Mhm.
two people coming together in a union, whether it be emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever the case may be. I would say to me is where two people are together through the good times, the bad, the
Whew.
ups and the downs, no matter what you've gone through in your life. That person is still gonna stick by your side no matter what. And
Yeah.
what was your second question? Why I decided to stay with you or marry you?
Yeah, that.
Why you
Yeah,
chose
why
him?
you
I answered
chose to
that
say
question.
why you chose to say of course.
I asked that question pretty much. Look. No, but seriously though, for me, um, I would say that you were the first person to actually treat me how you were the first man to treat me how I was supposed to be treated.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do that thing, son. That's what I'm talking
you
about.
know what I'm
You
saying?
better do it, boy. God
Yeah,
doggone, you
you
better.
know what I'm saying?
Go-
Yeah, beat
What?
my
What?
chest a
Take
couple
this pat
times.
on
You
the back.
know
Take
what I'm
that
saying?
pat on the back, boy.
Thank
That's
you, thank
what
you.
I'm
Hey,
talking
hey,
about.
let me turn around. Do it again.
Take that pat on the back. Take that pat on the
That's what I'm
back, boy.
talking
That's
about.
what
Let
I'm
me get this
talking
in.
Y'all is crazy.
about. That my son right there, boy. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Y'all
sorry. Go ahead, baby. Go
crazy.
ahead. Go
Y'all are
ahead. Continue to
crazy.
make me feel good.
Oh Lord. Maybe I need to stop. Maybe I need to stop.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know, but you're making me kind of proud. Keep going.
But
That my that my son, Jesus. Yes, it is. That's my boy. Yeah.
what's wrong with her?
Let her finish. Let her finish.
What's wrong with y'all? Goodness. But
He is
yeah,
crazy.
you like I said, you are the first man who's treated me how I'm supposed to be treated. Like you've been there through everything, like I said, good and bad with my family. You've been there through my side. You haven't walked away. Even through all the craziness that we've endured, you haven't walked away. You stayed by my side. So yeah.
Oh, don't cry now. Don't cry.
Wow.
Don't cry. Yeah.
Right, look,
Don't
look,
don't
look. You ain't got
Oh
no
my
don't
ush
god.
over there. You ain't got no ush over there to give you
don't
no
cry.
tissue.
Yeah. Look, we in the other room. Well, look, we in two different rooms right now. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. I guess that question's for me too. So, like for me, man, marriage. First of all, is definitely something that you're committed to. It's a
Right.
is it is definitely like not only are you committed to each other, but you make a commitment to God. And I took that serious, especially like I didn't really want a say so and really what went on in a marriage and how I looked at it. And I always told Tanisha this, and I say, women grow up with the ideal wedding in mind. Men grow up with
Hmm.
the ideal woman. We don't too much care about the wedding. We grow up with the ideal woman in mind, right? And I mean, I'm talking about like Tanisha was there through some of the like darkest times of my life when I lost some of the most closest people to me, and I saw how she like wrapped all my siblings in their arms. I saw how she was able to take on some of my auntie Tia mess. She even went to family gatherings and got groped by another auntie.
Oh
Like
Lord.
I mean, she was drunk though to her excuse, but I mean, like it was just just looking at how she interacted with the family, but then also it's just something that you feel when y'all look at each other, right? And
Hmm.
I saw how opposite she was. So it was true that like she was the calm person at the time, and I was the person that I was like, nah, you need to do this and you need to do that. And now I think we really changed places,
I wouldn't
now
say that.
she the one with the road rage, and I'm like, babe, don't blow your horn. It's okay, it's okay. And then, she'll reach over there and blow the horn when I'm driving,
I
but
do not. No.
but
I ain't to do it too. I ain't to
yeah,
do it
see what I'm
too.
saying?
Yeah, she will.
But yeah, so we just definitely we've been through a lot of our ups and a lot of our downs, man. And I think that was one of the best decisions in my life was to ask that woman to marry me. And I mean,
Yeah.
even still to this day, man, she like it's a lot of stuff that she do that I never thought that I needed in my life, like the caring and all that. And just to be honest with you, like when we first got together, I actually took that for granted, like I wasn't the most. I was always the caring person, but I wasn't the like soft. I'm a hold you and all that type person. I think me and my mom are pretty much alike. It's like, look, we'll give you a hug, but don't keep asking us for a hug every doggone minute, or if
Not for all
like
that affection.
So
Ooh,
we
Woo.
definitely but it took a lot of work, even still to this day, right? um which take us to our my next question, is, and I give it to the ladies, whoever want to start first, is what what do what are some things that make a marriage last? Oh, and before we start though, like, go ahead, baby, give them our statistics.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've been together for 11 years
Yes, we
and
have.
married
Hmm.
4. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be together for, well, no, no.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
was
no,
right.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
was
no.
right.
Go back. Go back.
So together
Yeah, yeah.
11, married 4.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
In a couple of
Not
weeks.
as
In a couple of
long,
weeks.
not as long, but we getting there. We getting there.
We getting there. We getting there. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, so the question is, we're gonna start with the ladies. Is hold on, let me go to the chat real quick. We got somebody that says, man, I want to know how y'all balance the marriage when everything is not all peaches and cream. Okay. Well,
that's boo. That's boo.
before I go on to my question, then let's go ahead and answer this question from Boo.
Say it
So
again.
well,
What's the
he asked the
question?
men. He asked for the men. He said how he want to know how do we balance the marriage when everything is not all peaches and cream.
Well, you can't bring everything I feel into your marriage. You
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you you you, you know what I'm saying? You have to I believe when we bring too much stuff into the marriage, then you don't have the time that you really need for each other. You get what I'm trying to say? You gotta
Mm-hmm.
when everything else, and with me, I always talk about me, I don't talk about nobody else. When my world is falling apart, my wife is what helps me keep it together. You know what I'm saying? So I can within my wife, I can go to her and be honest about whatever, how I feel, what I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying, what idea that I may have, what I'm going through, and she is the one that helps me to help keep the world around me together, because I found that confidant in my wife. I found that support that I need within my wife. So when everything else falls apart, I know I don't have to handle this on my own. What we do a lot of times as men is we try to take on this world by ourselves. But you have a helpmate for a reason. And
Mm-hmm.
but we gotta allow them to help. We gotta allow them. You gotta allow them to be that shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Your wife should be the, if nobody else, your wife should be the person where you could be you. No, I mean hands down. If you want to cry, cry. If you don't know the answer, you just don't know it. If you weak at this moment, you just, and your wife took, well, me. My wife is the person where I could be me. I don't have to put on no show. I ain't gotta be strong. I don't have to know all the answers. I don't have to have it all together. And I could be Laura with my wife. And she is the one that helps me when it seems like it's all falling apart. She's the one who helps me keep it together.
Mm. Okay. Well, before I answer, I want to just once again tell everybody thank y'all for joining. If y'all got any questions, I mean, you got a couple that's been in the game for a little bit. You got one that's still just starting off, but got some experience a little bit as well. But ask your questions on just from our perspective now. Like, we not considering ourselves no marriage counselors or
Yeah,
marriage
right,
gurus. We're just
right.
giving it to you from our perspective, but also,
Our
share,
perspective.
comment, and we just want to thank y'all. So, I mean, here's the answer to my question. The world itself, when we leave outside, it's like I've always looked at it as us as black men are already at a disadvantage, and we already have to work hard. So when we go out here, we have to tackle on the stresses of the world. So I feel like I'm lucky enough to be able to come home with some kind of peace, right? Like I don't have to
Right,
come home
right,
to the same stress that I was already out there in that world with. As a matter of fact, like I
right.
think that's one thing that my wife does really great at is that even I only like it's never been a time where she just didn't care, right? Like, us guys, we be so engulfed in our own issues. Our women come to us with so many issues, and they'll be like, "Babe, at the job, this person did this," and the only thing we hear is womp, 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 and we say, and we be like, "What? She
Oh, I
did
know Laura
that?
do not do me like that. Laura don't do me
Oh
like he
my
just
god!"
not.
Right? But like my
Laura,
like
listen, baby. Laura, listen.
All right now.
I ain't stun
All
young buck.
right.
I ain't stun young buck. Laura,
but
listen, baby. I listen to you, baby.
like one thing Tanisha
You
do is
messing up
like
my happy house.
one thing Tanisha do is she sees it. Like she literally like when I come into the house, and if I ain't myself, or well lately, I mean it's not me coming into the house, but when she come into the house and it ain't myself, then she pick up on it, right? And but then it took time for me to actually go to my wife, because I know at the time, like my wife is a very sensitive person, right? Like she wears her feelings on her sleeve and her heart on her sleeve. So I know at first I used to always hold my stuff in to protect her, but then I realized, like God showed me, is that she's strong enough to take on some of the stuff that I go through. So I had to learn to go to my wife when I'm having issues. So now I don't mind calling her and being like, "Look, my boss is really about to make me lose my religion." And
Hmm.
she's been sitting here, she was even sat around me when I'm having conversations, and she had to come and just sit next to me. I think like one time I was having some real tough times, and in one of my meetings, and next thing I know, I look up, she over there pouring me a shot. She say, "Look, I know it's 12 o'clock, but take this. Look, take this." I mean, I think just to answer that question is like when you have someone at home, it's easy to balance when you have someone at home that's gonna take the ease
Yeah,
off of you. Like
yeah,
if you don't
yeah,
have peace in
yeah.
your
That's
home,
true.
you're not gonna have peace anywhere, because this world is not gonna give you the peace that you really hoping for. Because sometimes you go out here and you
Hmm.
get stressed out and everything like that. But then if you have someone, I mean, you touched on it a lot, old school, is when you talking about like having a help meet, right? Is having someone that's gonna be there, that's gonna be like, "All right, babe, look, I got you," or us as men having someone you can be vulnerable with, and
Hmm.
actually just break down to. So I think that's one of those things that's a good way to balance it. But
Yeah,
I think just
yeah.
being on the same page, as well. I know he asked that to the men, but I want to ask the women that same question. What are y'all thoughts? Like, what are some things that help y'all balance it? Because I mean, y'all go through a lot too. I mean, y'all got the trifecta. Y'all black women, and y'all strong women on top of that. So, what do y'all, what do y'all do? How do y'all balance it all?
I
I think they
kind of,
don't went to sleep.
I
I know,
kind,
right?
me personally, if I'm dealing with a lot, like even I can talk to my husband, but it's still certain things I don't talk to my husband about because, hey, that's why I got sisters,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or whatever. But sometimes with me, a lot of things I don't know. I hold a lot in. I do. So I always feel like some things need response and some things don't. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my things as well. Like sometimes I'm learning how to bite my tongue on a lot of stuff, and I'm learning how to not like do how not like do certain things or whatever, that'll cause, what I'm saying, problems or whatever, in our marriage or whatever like that. But yeah, and then I pray to God, and God had to lead and guide me on certain things or whatever. So, and then I know my husband. So once if you know your mate, then
Mhm.
you wouldn't do stuff or say stuff, or what I'm saying, like, to put each other in that kind of craziness. I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain that, y'all. So y'all gotta forgive. Okay, go for it.
We no, I think you did perfectly. What you think, T? What's your thoughts?
Uh, I agree. It's like I know some things I can talk to you about, but it's other things like I'll rather talk to I'll either go to my mom or go to my best friend and talk to them about it.
Hmm.
Like, how can I say it? It's like I know certain things you're not gonna want to hear about. So it's like, why come to you if you're not going to hear about it? Not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Not
it
saying
all
that's a bad
depends on
thing.
what it is. Yeah, I
That's what I'm
got you. I
saying.
got
I was saying, so I'd rather go to them
you.
first,
Hmm.
talk to them first, and then I'll come and talk to you about it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
but
But
notice 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 something. Notice something. Watch this,
Hmm.
ladies. This is something we as men honestly have a real big problem with. I feel. The ladies, if you hear what they saying, they got that outlet. You know what I'm saying? Rather with whoever they have
Right.
that circle where they can have that outlet. But us
Hmm.
as men, a lot of times we feel as if we got to take this world on by ourselves. We feel like everything is on me and I got to do it. I got to have that. I got to fix it. And I feel like sometimes that is our biggest problem. But you know what I'm saying. But as a man, who do we have? You know what I'm saying. Like my daughter was saying. You know what I'm saying? My wife was saying they got their sisters, they got their mamas, they got cousins. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, who can you go to without being judged? You know what I'm saying? To say,
Hmm.
you know what, I need some help in this area.
at the same time, I feel like a lot of times I didn't always express my feelings. I didn't know how. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Whether it was sisters or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time I used to hold a lot of stuff in it because I felt like I was by myself. Even being
Hmm.
married, a lot of time I be like, I gotta do this. I gotta make sure this done. I. You know what I'm saying? Until I had to realize that, what I'm saying, it wasn't an I no more. It was a us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's when I learned how to just, what I'm saying, like, open up and talk to my husband or whatever, whatever. And I talk to him so much, sometimes I be going to him and be like, girl, listen, you know. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So I had to learn. I had to learn that. You know, I literally had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still stuff I hold in, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
hold as much. So I consider that progress. Come on, growth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
Come
that
on,
that is
bro.
that is
come
true.
on,
That
growth.
is true.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I do agree
That,
with you. Old school is that because I mean, and I joke about this all the time, but it's some about us men, like we don't know how to get together. Like women they got women conference, they go on women trips and stuff like that. Us men, we like, look, I see you when I see you. We don't want to do nothing. I think, and to
right,
a certain
right.
point, like I think like even when I was growing up, right? And if me and my homeboys would have been like, we're gonna go on a guys trip. Folks in my school would have been like, that gay, we don't do that. What y'all doing over there in the cat? Like, it's always like, why when men get together, it got to be something weird. It ain't got to be all that. And I think we have to do a lot better than trying to listen to what the world say and just do what we need to do to help each other out, because there's a lot of men out here that's going through some stuff. But then
Hmm.
also we talking about like marriage and marriage couples. I think I just posted up there where Boo said he had some some friends who are newlyweds, they're having serious marital issues. I don't know about y'all, but like in my
Mm-hmm.
first year of married, my first year of being married was easy. But our first year of like actually staying together was the toughest time we've ever had in our relationship. Like we went to counseling,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely it was definitely tough. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's you gotta stay the course, but also have the women just talked about how they have somebody to talk to. You know, if you are a married couple, you have to have some good married friends with you. It's okay to have some single friends,
Say that again.
but
Come on.
it's good to have some good married friends with you. Because honestly, I mean, as much as I
Mm-hmm.
got some single friends, and as much as I love them, they don't understand what it's like right now to just literally have to be married. I mean, and just have some good married friends with you. Create you a circle of married people, but good married people. I mean, if you look and you already know that your homeboy is really messing with somebody else on the side, you just don't want to see it, and they may not be the person you want to put in your circle, but like have some real good ones that you look up to.
Yeah.
Um, let me get
Mm-hmm.
this side note on here real quick, and then we're gonna go to the next good question that we got. It says sometimes when you haven't took the time to heal from previous bad relationships, it would make you hold certain things in and not want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about things. Just my opinion. Somebody said, Whoever said, Go ahead, speak on
Lady T.
That was
I
me.
heard that one. I saw her blink. That was Lady T.
it.
I
Speak on
guess
it. Why you say,
for me, my past situations. So it's like for me, I would say I wouldn't call them relationships. I would just say they were like situationships, if you will. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were only in it for one thing and one thing only. So for me, that put up a wall, and that
Mm-hmm.
wall was, oh, I can't trust you. I can't do this. I can't do that. So for me,
Right.
I had to learn to put that wall down when I got with D or Young Book or Minister D, however you want to call him. I
All
had to
three of
learn.
them. Come on, three people. Come on.
I mean,
I
I
had
do
to.
look
Just
like
call him
three people if
Trinity.
you look at me in the wrong angle. You look at me at the right angle, I do look like three people. I'm just saying.
I had to. I had
Just
to
call him
learn.
Trinity.
Not the Trinity. Um, I had to learn to put that wall down because he's not like those past situationships. He's his own person.
Hmm.
So it's like I can't bring past hurt into this new relationship.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
All right.
I spoke on that. I spoke on that Sunday, and what a lot of people don't realize, men's go through that too, just as well as women's. You know what I'm saying? Like I was speaking on Sunday. People gotta understand. We as men, our heart hurt, our emotions get ran all over on. You know what I'm saying? We get vested and get let down. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things we haven't actually healed from. So what what you what what you have to do, what Laura had to do, old school, what I had to do was I had to look at my life and say, okay, this part of my life I need to have fixed. I had
Hmm.
to honestly admit that, I'm having a problem in this area. You know what I'm saying? And some things God just took away from me, released me from. Some things I actually really had to go and sit down and talk to somebody, because I was carrying around a whole lot of hurt. And I mean, we've been honest, right? So my one of my things was, nobody never left me because they said old school beat him or he didn't take care of them. Everybody that actually left me, they left me because they just went and cheated on me. And as a man, it made me start feeling like, well, what the heck is wrong with me? You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that
I
wrong with you,
start
big
looking
brother?
at,
Ain't that wrong with you?
but I know that right, baby. Ain't that right? But but that was something that bothered me. You know what I'm saying? To where, okay, I'm doing all this, so why all these folks? You feel like you got to go out here and get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, I would start looking at, well, what the world is going on with you? You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I carried that around. For a long time, I doubted myself. For a long time, I had low self esteem in sex areas. You know what I'm saying? Because of my past. And a lot of times we never get over that hurt, but we constantly taking that pain from one thing to the next. And a lot of times we don't know how to actually release it, how to come up out of it, because we as men, where do we go to? The family looking at you to hold everything down. Your wife looking at you to be strong. Sometimes your friends count on you to fix everything. So where do the strong go when they get weak?
Mm, you said a mouthful there. You said a mouthful. Angel, you had anything you wanted to add, or he's pretty much covered it.
No, not really. I mean, we all have our past hurt and all that stuff. You know, my wall was bigger than the wall that's in China. So,
Mhm.
like we all, what I'm saying, just had that hurt. You know what I'm saying? But honey, I just thank God for healing power. I
Yeah, you
thank
Yes,
God.
know.
Lord.
I don't feel the way I used to feel, especially when it came to past relationship, past hurt, what I'm saying, or whatever, because when I divorced my first husband, that was it. I was honey, and then when I was finally free of all of that, child, that was like the best freedom
Hmm.
can get. I'm talking about a good fresh air type stuff, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I just take it step by step, day by day. Trying
Yeah,
not to get my work up. So.
I had another question, but I'm gonna ask that so this may be a series, y'all. I mean, there's so much we can talk about in when it comes up to marriage, so we may have to like have a part two of this next
Go
week. But
to
yeah, but we got another question here, and I had one too, but I'm gonna ask that probably next week. But Carla says, what's up, Carla? She says, what was the shift or pivot point from singleness that allowed you to open yourself up fully and submit to the vulnerabilities of committing to another person? And let me just say that she probably used Chat GBT for this awesome question
I'm
because
talking about, listen, can you break it
I mean,
down,
she had the
please?
word pivot. She had the word pivot,
Right.
vulnerabilities, and committing. And I was like, whoo,
Like,
I had to take it some breaths.
now,
I
Carla,
mean, what?
who you got on this thing, girl. Break it down.
Okay, so pretty much she's just saying, like, what was that point in your life where you came from when you was out here in these streets, you was single, that allowed you to pretty much, she said, it's the corporate in me. Okay. That allowed you to pretty much open yourself up to be vulnerable to your spouse, right? So, when you were single, it was a lot of things that you were like, I, if I'm understanding her question right, is that like when you're single most of the time, especially for the women, right? It's a lot of independence that you had to do, right? But then when you get
Hmm.
with somebody, y'all talked a lot about like breaking those walls down, So what was that point in either, while you were single or while you were just in that relationship stage with, like so for Angel, while you was dating old school and T while you was dating me, like what was that pivot or what was that point where were you able to break those walls down and be vulnerable to your spouse? Let's start with let's start with old school this time.
I thought you was talking to the ladies. Okay, but
Well, I
all
mean
right.
it's I mean you didn't really pinpoint with whoever. I was
Well,
just giving an example.
with me, um, I wanted something different myself. I was I grew up in a in a hoish surroundings. Um, but as I got older, I wanted something better in life. I got tired of the life that I was living. Um, Fun, yeah, but what did it profit me? I can only talk about me. I saw that the life that I was living, I really wasn't getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I had all of these friends, all of these sex partners, and all of this type stuff, but I wasn't getting nowhere. I wasn't growing. You know what I'm saying? And I just got to the point where I say, you know what? I want somebody for me. I want somebody who's going to accept Laura. Watch this, not Casanova, because a lot of people's would accept you for your representative, and they really don't know you. So I was put on this guy who I grew up to be. You know, I was with my brother's group. My name was Special L Casanova. That was my name. So
Special Ed. Casanova.
everybody everybody who I was with, they knew Casanova, but they didn't know Laura. And I got tired of living Casanova's life because it was getting me nowhere. So I I had the urge to want better. I it's something that you have to want. Is it ain't nothing that's just gonna just fall out of the sky. You have to make up in your mind, I want this, and when you want it, you have to go searching for it. That's what I did.
Okay. Uh, Anybody else when he said Casanova? Did y'all hear that song? Ooh, Casanova. Y'all heard that? I heard that
Stop
in my head.
yourself.
I'm just saying. Okay. Anywho, Angel, same. I know. Look, I mean, we got 7 minutes, y'all. If y'all can give us probably like 10 minutes extra, I promise you, like it's gonna be real good. I want to make sure we get everybody points across. But Angel, what's your take on that question?
Um, I want it better, but not only better for me, I want it better for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I never allowed my kids to see me dating different dudes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I never allowed them to see me. So only thing they really know, you know what I'm saying, I was married one time, I got divorced, and here I am married again. You know what I'm saying? So in between the last divorce and getting with my big daddy now, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just never allowed them to see me do different stuff. But I want it better, not only for me but for my kids. So my whole life really, I don't I didn't really think of me. I always thought of my kids. So
Mm,
they just, and but then when Lover came, well, when old school came into my life or whatever, and he was bringing, everything my kids needed, and then he brought, what I'm saying, everything that I needed or whatever. So that was, what I'm saying, I was like, okay, what I'm saying, all right, God didn't want me out there doing the crazy stuff I was doing anyway, so He willed me back on there, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying, God said something and I listened. You know what I'm saying? So that's when
mm,
I just went on, what I'm saying, and did what I had to do to make sure me and my husband had this good relationship, married type stuff or whatever, you know, because yeah, that part. Yeah. I don't know how to
Can,
explain
Oh,
nothing.
so
can
you had your name. You had
You know,
your
you
name.
know?
no
Yeah, yeah.
more.
Can let's. I'm gonna jump back real quick on that question too. It with me, it also came down to trust. You gotta have somebody, that you can trust with you. You can't trust everybody with you. You can't trust everybody with your heart. You can't trust everybody with your emotions. You can't trust everybody with the authentic you. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that actually helped me was like with heartbeat. I could trust her with me. You know what I'm saying? And once you get that person who you could trust, our thing is, we always tell each other, why are you with me if you don't trust me? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You
Yeah,
wasting your time in mine. So
yeah.
trust, I believe, is a real big factor into doing that and just releasing, you know what I'm saying, yourself over. Once you get that point where you can trust that person with you, then you know they have your best intention at heart. I
Yeah.
believe trust is a real big factor in that one.
Okay. T, moving over to you.
Um, for me, I agree with old school. The whole trust situation. Like I said earlier about the whole um putting walls down and stuff like that. I had to realize that I can trust you for who you are and trust that you won't be like everyone else. You're different. Like you won't treat me how these past people have treated me. I can trust you to be honest and open with me at all times.
And
I
that's
just,
one.
oh, go
And
ahead.
that's one of the things that with Lowry, he used to always, you know what I'm saying, say like he never want me to feel the way everybody else made me feel. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like if they hurted me, he didn't want to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? So if basically like if they made me cry or upset at me, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, he didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Have our marriage always been peaches and cream? No. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he wanted to slap me and I wanted to punch him. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, love overtakes it all. Love wins every time.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is true. And in God, man, you got you not going biblical into it, but you gotta have God in this in this whole thing. You got to. If your marriage is gonna thrive, if you're really gonna grow, God is important.
Yeah.
Because that they are when I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna shut up because Young Buck gotta get his point in. But when me and Young Buck was talking earlier, right? Everybody's house is different. What worked for my house probably won't work for Young Buck house. You know what I'm saying? But God give us guidelines that work for everybody, black, white, Hispanic, anybody house. You know what I'm saying? When he say love your wife as Christ loved the church. You know what I'm saying? How did Christ love the church? He was patient. You know what I'm saying? We got to be patient with our mates. You know what I'm saying? When things got when things get hard, God didn't run out on us. You know what I'm saying? He was the true meaning of actually stick and stay. So you got to y'all listen. I'm telling you from 4 marriages of experience, you got to have God as the center of your marriage if it's going to thrive and be the way that it's supposed to be. All marriage should be an example of God's love. I'm done.
He done. T, were you able to finish what you had to say? I know you were still at your point.
Yeah, my main thing was the whole trust aspect.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
I do agree with everybody about trust. I mean, just to be honest with y'all, like I think when T and I met, we met on Twitter, now X. Shout out to Roman Reigns, WWE superstar. But we met there, and we wasn't really looking. I mean, we were both fresh out of a relationship, bad relationships actually, and we weren't really looking. And we was just like we was kicking it, like just and like talking and catching up as high school friends. Well, we weren't even high school friends. We just
We're just
knew we were high
classmates.
school classmates, and
We
we
were just
graduated
classmates.
together
That's
a
it.
row apart, and we connected on a comment I made in WWE, and about WWE, and like I, I was like I said, I was fresh out of a relationship, so I didn't have like I didn't really have time in between that relationship and then me and T. But I can say that like it was it was a little tough. I think it was easier when we wasn't living together. And then when we started living
Mhm.
together, I think that's when it got harder because
Mhm.
I mean, I tell everyone it's like you never know someone until you stay with them.
Until you
And
stay with them.
it's not from a bad perspective, but you get when you start staying with somebody, you know everything. Like you know what ticks them off. you know what, you know what makes them smile, right? But then you're also constantly in each other's space. And I've never had that, and I think I never had the time to actually figure out who am I really as the person. Like I've
Mhm.
always looked at my past relationships as to what happened or what did they do to make those relationships fail, and then I never had the opportunity to say like, so what part did I play in that either, right? And I've always because I mean, as much as we hate to say it, like we play some type of part in it, right? We could not been showing too much love. I mean, we could not be showing enough love. We couldn't have been affectionate. We could have been too clingy. You just never know. And I never had that time. So then I also took, some of that, as Tanisha said previously, it's like some of that stuff that some of those insecurities that I had from my previous relationships, and I was just looking at Tanisha as like just waiting on the shoe to drop. And she just continued to show me like she wasn't going nowhere. And I think I also decided to marry her because I really didn't want to die. It was almost at the point where she was just saying, like, either you gonna stay with me or you gonna die. And then I think she took this to death do you part literally, right?
Oh my
Literally,
And
god.
yes,
yeah,
yes,
like she
yes.
she took that literally. She was like, "Look, either you gonna stay with me or you gonna die." Like it is either one or the other. But like I guess I agree with everyone. Like you gotta just trust the person that you with, but don't rush into it. Like take time to actually know who that person is. I mean, this ain't
Yes.
this ain't biblical what I'm about to say, but um, if you gotta stay with them, stay with them before you get married to them, because like just know who they are. Now the Bible say wait till you're married and all that good stuff. But we all have our downfall. I'm not condoning saying don't wait. I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's up to you, right? But I just say, like, I didn't know who Tanisha was until me and her moved out. And honestly, we could talk about more about this on the next episode. Is I actually moved her out of spite. Like, I wasn't even ready to move out of my mama house. I had a little money. I was upset about things that was going on, and I was like, I'm moving her out. We heading out. And neither one of us was actually ready. And I think that's also what what caused some of our troubles too. So but yeah, good question, Carla. I think everyone is talking about like trust, making sure you break down those walls. Old school talked a little bit about God. Um, I'm also gonna bring this up from Vanara. She said, hold on, here we go. She said, in the beginning, I enjoyed being single and independent. I could better please God, but then I was tired of being lonely and I wanted to share my life with someone. So I wrote out a prayer for my husband and I asked God to make me ready for my husband. Ooh, I love that.
Hmm.
I love that. Write it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain. Carla said, I appreciate y'all for marinating your single friend, me, with this marital insight. I'm gonna be good and tender when God finish hemming up my future husband. Shout out to you, Carla. We love you, girl.
That's our
We
sister,
love
man.
you.
That's our sister.
But yeah, but just to tease on the next episode. I mean, so first of all, ladies, look, thank y'all for
Thank
joining.
y'all.
Hopefully y'all come on the next episode, man, because we definitely got a lot more we can dive into. But the next question I was gonna ask, and it'll be for next week, is like, we're all, I mean, we got Bishop, Minister, leading lady, lady elect on here, and I know Bishop, well, I know Old School and Angel talked about divorces. So I wanted to say, my question would be like, how the Bible says, like, to death do you part.
Hmm.
But when is it appropriate for you to ask for that divorce? And is God really telling us that we need to be in a relation, be in a marriage that's not safe for us or not healthy for us?
Hmm.
And I would like
Good
for us to
question.
actually talk a little. I would, especially y'all. I would like for y'all to talk a little bit more about that next week. I'm volun- volunteering y'all to be back on next week. I think we really enjoyed y'all. We got a lot of insight from a lady's perspective, right?
Yep, yep,
I think it was great.
yep.
We got great communication from everyone. So before we leave, as always, and we're gonna let the ladies go first. What is some real good marital advice that you have? And I'm gonna let the ladies go first. I ain't gonna call no names. I just let whoever want to go
I would say
first.
communicate.
I was just
Um,
about to say that.
yeah,
Lord.
I would say
You gotta
always
find something else.
always communicate. And if you need counseling, go. Don't, honey,
Mm-hmm.
please don't be scared to go do no counseling. Me and my husband did counseling, and it was awesome. Counseling
Awesome. Yes.
is actually what saved our marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like do your counseling, communicate, and always pray. Pray always. That's me. You
You took
go ahead, T.
you took both of my things that I was gonna
I'm
say.
sorry, girl.
Dang.
You
I don't
gotta
know if I
find
can
something
find.
else. What else you got? What else
Okay,
you
hold
got?
on. What was your, ask your question again? Let me think.
What is some marital advice you'll give someone?
Mm. Marital advice. I can't take communication.
All right, I give you some time. I give
Thank
you
you.
some time. Old school, what you got?
I would say, and every point I always bring, I always talk about me. I would say, um, be be willing to stay. And what I mean by that is sometimes when things get hard, like with me, if things got too hard, too uncomfortable, I would leave. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
that's not marriage. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is you work through those hard times.
Mhm.
You don't let hard times stop what God have actually put together. Be willing to stay, because through it all it's a glory at the end of it all. I just say, um, be willing to stay, stick it out, do what you got to do before. If God ain't told you to call it quits, you do what you got to do to make it work. But I believe having that
Even if it's
staying power
uncomfortable.
is,
Come on.
even if it's uncomfortable, you
Hmm.
got to do what you got to do to actually make it work, man. Stay. That was one thing that I had my running shoes on for years. Dating had my running shoes on. Marriage had my running shoes on. I would go.
That's
And
why your feet hurting
but
now, ain't it?
hey, yeah, girl. but but I thank God. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. I thank God for my wife, because we had our ups and downs, and when I was ready to put them running shoes back on, she took them suckers off, and I guess she burnt them, cause and she said, "Look, nigga, you ain't going nowhere." I say this the last, and that's what I meant. You know what I'm saying? But I say stay, man. You do what you got. You do the well, at the end of it all, be able to say, I gave it my best. I think
Yeah.
that's the most
Yeah.
important.
I wanted to say real quick while we give
Already
T
now.
some time. Venara said be present. And then brother Alonzo, one of my he started off as a good friend of mine, but now is a really true brother. I love you, man. He say transparency. Communication is greatly important, but if you are not transparent, the communication is flawed. You better
Mm.
come through with the tips, man. I ain't know you had it in you, man. You better do it. He a good bowler, but I mean, he can speak some truth too. What you got, T?
We
So
gonna stop using the internet, folks. That we gonna stop doing. Or we use the inter, internet questions, Google answers. Y'all gonna stop doing. I'm just playing. Y'all go.
so my main thing, of course, my whole thing tonight has been about the trust aspect of everything. Build trust with your partner. I will also say like old school said, you got to be in it. Don't give up on your partner, no matter what's going on. Don't give up on them. Also, you gotta make time for each other. Go on dates. Do remember why y'all fell in love.
Oh, I like that.
You have to remember that.
Yes.
So yeah.
Girl, you so sexy right now. You so sexy right
Old
now.
school. We need a date
I
night.
heard, I heard,
We
I
need a
heard
date.
her.
We ain't had a date night in a
I,
minute now. Hold up.
I
All
heard
this
her in
working
your
and
response.
business
I'm just
stuff.
saying.
God, I'm talking about T.
uh Brother Eric said, beat you to the marriage and don't try to look married, but actually be married. I love that. I love that. Wow. I mean, I should have let her go last. I mean,
I know.
that was that was deep.
Well,
Should have let her go last. I mean, but I think everyone touched on a lot of things. I mean, I believe the most important thing was for me is to remember who's in a
mm,
relationship. It's you who's in the marriage, right? And now relationship is different, but when you get into a marriage, there are three people in a relationship. There's you, your
Come on.
spouse, and God, and that's it. Don't add nobody else. And I think that's where a lot of the issues come in. That is, we talk to too many people, and we let them influence the marriage. But always remember, it's you, your spouse, and God. Like, there was not much I wanted out of the wedding, but I said we're going to have it. We're going to do the three-chord ceremony because of what it represented. It represented me, Tanisha, and it represented God. It was nobody else. And so if I can say anything, it's only three in the marriage: is you, your spouse, and God. And don't keep adding. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and get advice or nothing like that, but don't have everyone in
Yeah,
your
yeah, you better
marriage,
say that.
because that's what mess it up. And then watch
Come
mm,
who
on.
you
That
talk
part.
to. Don't go out here. If that person ain't married, you shouldn't
Right.
be talking to them. I mean, no offense to the single people. I love y'all, but if they ain't married, don't be talking to them. Talk to, or if they are married and you see that their relationship ain't good, they may not be the one you talking to. Like, look and like, see, be careful who you talk to and who you get advice from. I mean, and that's for anything, but especially for a marriage. All right, so um, all hearts and minds are clear on here. Y'all
Yeah.
good?
yep.
Man, it's been a great conversation. I can't wait to
Next
next
week,
week where we really
man.
deep. Well,
Next.
we dive a little bit deeper in this thing, man. Y'all please make sure y'all tune in. Same time, same channel, same day. I want to thank they say you can talk, Carla say you can talk to me though. She the exception. Uh, but thank everyone for joining.
Yes.
Ladies, thank y'all for
Thank
joining.
y'all.
Hopefully,
Mwah.
hopefully we didn't run y'all off. Y'all will be here next week and give us some more tips. We did promise that y'all won't be on camera. So want to say just thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for all y'all do, y'all support, y'all love. But then also thank everyone else for joining. Please make sure y'all like, share, comment, share it with your friends and stuff. Hopefully y'all found this insightful. If y'all have any more questions, or if y'all if y'all have some good advice, send it over to us, man. And we'll definitely share it.
Hmm.
And I mean, if we really like it, we may throw you on here too.
Yes,
We
sir.
we still trying to get Bernard Williams. So do hashtag we want
Please get her
Bernard
because she
on
put me
social
up under
media.
the bus. Please get her.
Hashtag do hashtag we want Bernard. We're gonna do a
Show live.
campaign and try to get her on there.
I'm a
Hashtag we want
hashtag it
Yeah.
Bernard.
too.
And but yeah, thank y'all for joining. We love y'all. Like, share, comment, hashtag we want Bernard. And we will see
Next
y'all
week,
next
baby.
week. Peace out.
Peace.